Hey there you guys, welcome back. I thought we'd do a little bit of an update, I guess. It's only been a month, but I wanted to show you what I have growing, or what's growing in the grow tent. The 2x2 grow tent from Mars Hydro, and I don't know, I haven't really paid much attention to what's going on. I've been trying to mist every day, and hoping to keep the humidity higher. Haven't really been watering the plants so much, I've just been misting the pots. So I think I watered once in a month, like actual watering of pots, but everything has just been misting, and things are looking okay. Anyway, I'll let you be the judge. Okay, so let's get in here. Open this up. I think that's amazing how bright it is. Oh. Okay, let's move this door out of the way so I can sit here beside it. So in here, again, we have the Mars Hydro SP150 LED grow light, and it's doing fantastic. It's so bright, it's crazy. The other light that would fit in here beautifully for Mars Hydro is the other one that we have, the TS600W. That one would also work really, really well. I'll put links down below for the Amazon site to if you want to check out stats on these, or if you want to pick one up for yourself. Why not? So yeah. Let's go down here. Before we go too deep, we've got the Vandas. I've been trying to mist these every day. This is the real reason why I was misting. Well, it looks like I've got some green root tips. Can you see that? Is the light too bright? If I was to lower this down, you'd be able to see it better. But I've got some green root tips starting to happen. It's only been a month, so they've been adjusting to the light levels and trying to acclimate to the higher humidity and the warmer conditions and all that stuff. So they've just now started to put out green growth. So that's fantastic. Hopefully it's onward and upward. This plant here, I can't remember what it's called. It starts with a T. It looks like Phalaenopsis flowers. It's really, really cool. It's not doing anything right now. No green tips, no nothing. The Vanda in this pot is not looking so good, but it didn't look good before it went in, so I'm hoping to give it a little bit of time. I gave it a soak yesterday, so hopefully soaking it again will rehydrate it. It wasn't looking good this season, and this Rinko Stylus is not looking so good, but it hasn't done anything in the last 2 years. I don't think it's put on any new growth, and the roots just don't look very, very good. And now, as you can see, they're very, very wrinkly. They're pruny, so that's not great. I have a feeling that's just going to die. Such is my luck with orchids. So let's put you on a tripod, and we'll start going through these plants. I've added more in here. It's just a smorgasbord of plants, but I'm trying things out. I'm moving things around, and you'll get to see what's happening. Okay, so what I've learned in this whole experience is I need more grow tents. I'm really enjoying this grow tent. I can splash around in here and not have to worry about moisture everywhere in the grow room. So that's a really big plus. I've also noticed that I've been misting way too often, and this is a new hygrometer thermometer, and I basically broke it. Because it's been too wet. So it looks like in the last little bit, it's got a 24-hour min-max feature on here. So in the last 24 hours, it's been 51% humidity, but I've had it as high as 98% humidity in here. When I open the door, obviously the humidity goes out. I've got the fan going all the time. The lights are on a timer. I believe that they're maybe 14 hours a day they're on, and then they're off for the remainder. The min-max temperature in here is between 28 and 29 Celsius. That's for the last 24 hours. Usually it's about 25 to 28, so it keeps it nice and toasty warm in here. And I'm happy that I have this. I need to get one. Maybe I'll have to put it in a plastic bag next time. I don't know if that would give an accurate reading. Maybe a plastic bag wouldn't work. Some sort of cover so that it doesn't get direct moisture on it. So this is a Lycasty, and it's finally going dormant. So it's not the grow tent that's killing it. This was supposed to actually go dormant in the fall, but for whatever reason it wanted to continue growing, and I was hoping that it would start putting out new growth in the spring, but because it's now just starting to go dormant, it might not put out new growth for a while yet. But fingers crossed, hopefully when it goes outside for the summertime, it will start to come back to life. Anyway, that's the Lycaste. I can't wait for these leaves to fall off so that I can just keep it in a smaller space. So move that off to the side. This one actually just came into the grow tent last week, I believe. This is a Scindapsus pictus. What is it? Silver satin plant? I don't know. It's like a pathos. And it was growing upstairs in the bathroom, and it was getting bright indirect light morning sun, and it was just doing terribly. It hadn't put out new growth, and as you can see, the leaves were yellowing. Things were not looking so good. I thought being in the bathroom, and it's been in the bathroom for quite some time, but it's just been a progressive decline, and I got worried that if I didn't do something soon, I would lose this plant. So since coming into the grow tent, it's put out this new growth here, right by my finger, so that's going to be a nice new leaf. And then I just noticed this right here, right now, there's another new little growth starting right here. So very excited. This is going to be on the mend. Oh, and another new growth. It really likes being in this grow tent. I'll have to remove all of these dead leaves. I'll do that after the video. So now there's 3 little growth points. So that's perfect. What I think I'm going to do is, yeah, the new growth one is right here. So we got 1, 2, and 3. So what I'm going to do, I think, after these leaves come out, I'm going to take cuttings from this plant, and I'll see if I can propagate it and try to get more new growths coming from the stem itself, and see if we can't make a healthier plant. Fingers crossed, it's going to stay in the grow tent for another couple of months, I'm sure, so that it can recoup and hopefully live a much better life. Moving some things out of the way. Here is, I believe this is my Oncidium Twinkle. It's looking beautiful. The pseudobulbs are nice and plump. Not much has changed. Actually, nothing has changed. There's no flower spikes or anything happening, so that's just doing what it does. This one here, I was hoping to see a big change because most of it is aerial roots. This is a dendrobium. I'm not seeing... Oh, there's a few green tips on the aerial roots. So that's a positive sign. Again, it's only been in here for a month, so I don't expect to see any like major changes. I just want to see some changes that mean that it's doing its job. So I do see some little growth tips on the roots here. I think I might end up taking some of these Kakis off and planting them in some media to give them a little bit more of a chance. They shouldn't be planted on there, or shouldn't stay on the plant forever. They're getting big enough that they could be divided. Alright, what's happening with this one? This is a Cataleya, a Cataleya. I was close. This one is putting out some new growth. There's new growth right here. I don't know that you're able to see by my hand. And the new growth is looking pretty good. I've got my string of turtles in there, my Peperomia Prasada. It's getting in the way. I just want to see some new growth. Okay, in here, there's some nice new growth. I don't know whether you're able to see it here. It's crawling down the side of the pot. And beside it is some more new growth starting. I don't know if you're able to see that either. Hopefully you are. But all in all, it's not doing too badly. Again, only a month, so what kind of progress am I expecting to see? But this one, hopefully there will be a flower bud starting on this this growth soon. Put that back in there. This one here was one that was sitting on my window ledge upstairs. This is a pothos, and it was doing terribly upstairs. I got it as a cutting. This, I believe, is the neon pothos, and what is it, Peperomia, if I can get that right. And ever since I got it, it was too dry, and it was a cutting, and it never did very well. And then it started to grow, and then I kept getting these spots all over it, and they were not doing well. But I think it was just because it was too dry, and then it was too wet, and then it was too dry, and then it was too wet. Yeah, hopefully being in the grow tent will give it a more constant humidity, and I just want to get some new leaves coming out that don't have any distortions. and eventually I'll just remove all of the crappy leaves. But right now, all it has is crappy leaves, so I'm not going to do much with it for now. We'll see what happens. Fingers crossed that it does much better in this tent. So here is my Phalaenopsis pallens. This one here is my Kaki producer. It's got all kinds of Kakis on it, the little babies. This section has 2 Kakis, and it's got a little flower spike starting to grow off the edge by my finger. I'm pointing at it right now. I don't know that that flower spike's going to develop to anything, but it's there. I don't see any flower spike production on the plant itself. This plant has been severely neglected. All the aerial roots have not been nourished, but I've been misting this thing, like I said, every day for the last month. And oh, I'm seeing new growths down at the base of this Kaki. So new roots, new roots, new roots. That's what I want to see. So eventually I'll end up taking these Kakis off and potting them up separately. I have a feeling once I do that, then the mother plant can start doing what it does and maybe produce some more flowers. Right now, it's nourishing these Kakis. It's taking energy from the mother plant, so it's not really thinking to flower. So move that off to the side. I'm always very careful with these Kakis because they'll fall off. Here is a little Philodendron Brasil that I just took cuttings of. I think I did this yesterday. So these aren't doing anything. I just put these in here. My little Brasil has been neglected for quite some time. And I thought, oh, I'll make a little pot solely of Brasil. It's actually, right now it's up in one of my other tropical plants. It's a little ground cover within the plant. So I wanted to make a pot specifically for it. And I think I'm going to make a moss pole that I can let them climb up, because they look so beautiful when they do what they do. And I want this one to be a focal point rather than just an understory planting. So we'll see what happens. And I just took cuttings, so there's still plants in that as a ground cover in that pot. I just wanted extra. Let's look at this Carrii. I want to see if there's any new development with this Carrii. Okay, let go. Alright, so underneath, I've got all kinds of root development. Let me readjust here, my back is getting sore. I don't know whether you're able to see this, but do you see all of the aerial roots developing along the stem? That is ridiculous. I could probably start taking cuttings of this plant and have them do beautifully. There's so many cuttings. This is a dead section on the end, but so many roots are being developed. I don't see any new growth as in leaves or new growth as in peduncles. But I see a lot of development root-wise. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I'm going to move this off to this side. I'll put it back in a bit. It's going to get in the way. So this guy, this is my Xanthus OMA lemon lime, I think. Yeah, lemon lime. And it lost one of its leaves when it first went in here. But now it's starting to develop a new leaf. I don't know whether you'll see the new leaf starting to develop here. But it's doing okay. It's getting taller in here, so it seems to like the added humidity that I've been giving it. And yeah, fingers crossed that it does well. It never really does well inside. It usually goes completely dormant, and it starts to break dormancy several times throughout the winter. And I think that it's going to die, and then it starts to grow really, really small in the spring. Yeah, I'd like it to do much better than it is. The leaves can actually get to be a really nice size, but it's just had a tough life so far. So hopefully this grow tent, or a grow tent, will do it better for next year. Because soon these are all going to go outside for the summertime. And this is my Stephanandra, I believe? Stanhope, sorry. And it just looks the same. It's got some new developments just in new growth. But I don't know whether that was happening before or if it happened during its time within the grow tent. But it still looks nice. No flower development. No nothing like that. So we'll move on to the next one. It's my Alocasia Polly. It just needs to get cut back. The poor thing. It's not doing better. It's not doing worse. It's just existing. I have a feeling it's because I need to cut it back. It's got the long stems, so I'll probably just chop it back and bury it deeper. I've got three growths happening here. They would do much better if they were closer to the soil surface. And maybe I'll give it a bigger pot this summertime. Give it another lease on life. But it's doing not so bad. Could be better, could be worse. Alright, now I want to look at these guys. This one is my Brassia, I believe. I think this is the Brassia. Yeah. So I've got a new growth here. I can't remember in my orchid update video whether this new growth was here, but it's got one. Hopefully that will develop a flower spike. I really want to see spikes. No spikes. I do have another new growth starting here. It looks like I need to repot this. It's starting to push the pot sideways. You can't see my fingers. It's starting to push the pot sideways, so I really need to either split this plant or give it a bigger pot. So maybe, I think this is a 6-inch pot. Maybe if I went with an 8-inch pot, it might do much better. So I don't see any flower production, but it looks like it's doing well with the new growth. So that's what I really want to see. I want to see some nice healthy growth. I could care less about blooms if it's just going to stress out my plant. I want to see nice healthy plant growth, and then once they're healthy, I want to see them produce flowers. So this one is my Alicera, and I'm noticing actually that this one is a little bit drier than it should be. I don't know whether you remember from my orchid update video, the pseudobulbs were not shriveled at all, but I'm noticing a little bit of shriveling. So I need to pay attention to this one and give it a good drink. I'll actually leave this out, and I'm going to dunk it in some water before I put it back in. I don't see any flower spikes. I don't see anything happening here, but we'll see what happens. I do see some green tips on the roots, so hopefully when I put it in some water, I'll give it some fertilizer as well, so hopefully that'll kickstart it into doing something again. We're almost done here. Almost done. So here is my Philodendron hieroglyphica. I've got the roots here are terrible. I need to soak this one as well. this one's actually doing much worse than the other. This one has been sitting on its side, so the moisture hasn't been sitting in the pot. Because it's so top heavy, it's falling over. I should repot this one, but I will give this a soak and try to nourish these leaves a little, or these roots a little bit more, and then hopefully put it back here and here and make sure it gets misted on a regular basis. I've been trying to get it, but since it was on its side, it was hard to get because I didn't want to spray the min-max thermometer. Another one that I put in here is just a little Heartleaf Philodendron. This one is it was in bad shape. It got neglected so bad. It was on one of my grow shelves at the back, and the growth went down behind the grow shelf, and I didn't do anything about it, and it started wrapping around other things, and when I pulled it up, I ripped a lot of the leaves off because it was growing between things. So my bad. So it's in here trying to get better, and it's catching on everything. Hopefully I'll be able to put this on a pole soon enough. I'm going to give it a few months to recuperate, and I will take some cuttings from it and start a little bit fresh, and we'll see what happens. So it's just here sitting underneath everything, kind of away from direct light, living an okay life, not its best life, but it's okay. I'm going to show you this one in detail a little bit later, but this is a new acquisition. I'm starting to collect some more aeroids, because that's all I need is more plants. This one here is a Monstera Dubya, and it's just a rooted cutting, so I want this one to grow nicely. This one is actually a shingling plant. We'll go over that when I do that video. So that is new. I just got that the other day. Two more things. We got the little hanging pots. The little Prasada. This is Peperomia Prasada. It's doing nicely, finally. Before it came in here, when I touched it, it was kind of like a burro's tail. When I touched it, all kinds of leaves would fall off. Now the leaves are starting to get a little bit more secure. They're a little bit happier. so they're not just dropping randomly. So I think that that's on the mend. I think that it's starting to get the moisture that it needs. You're always going to get some dropping, but it's not doing it like it used to. So that's a good sign. And the last, the poor thing, the string of dolphins. Oh, it looks like a string of dead dolphins. I've been trying to keep this watered, but again, in these little teeny pots, they're really hard to keep the water in there, because when they get too dry, they just drain out the bottom, and because they're a hanging pot, they're not sitting in anything. So I've been trying to mist directly in the pot, and I've been trying to, when I did water, I watered directly in these pots to try to get some moisture. It's going to go outside in the summertime. It's not doing awful. It looks pretty awful, but there's all kinds of new growth starting here. I'm just going to take some cuttings soon and grow the tips, and hopefully I'll get some back growth down in the base of the pot. So that is the nearly dead string of dolphins, but hopefully that will get resolved and it will look pretty in the growing season. So that's all the plants in the grow tent. I hope you enjoyed this update, and I'm trying to find out where, oh there it is, where I can hang this little dolphin back up. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoy seeing what's happening in here. It has been a long time since I've actually took things out. Well, not that long, it's been a month. But hopefully in the next month we'll see some more progress, and I'll keep you posted. Again, links down below if you want to purchase a grow tent. This is again my Mars Hydro, and the Mars Hydro grow light, the SP150. It's a really, really nice grow light. I like it a lot. And I'll also link the Mars Hydro TS 600W, which I really, really like. I'm actually growing some seeds, which you will see an update on those in the coming weeks. Anyway, until next time, you guys, happy growing!